A good afternoon and welcome out to Ragsdale Field inside Burger King Stadium. Game 3, the final game of the series between the Braves of UNC Pembroke and the Cougars of Columbus State here on Cougar Sports TV. We welcome everyone who's joining us here this afternoon. I'm Corey Aldis. A rainy and cloudy and frigid afternoon here at the ballpark, but we are finally ready to get underway here on Cougar Sports TV. A late start. We were scheduled to have first pitch at 1 p.m. local time. Right now it's 2 p.m. Had to push things back an hour to help clear out the field with all of the rain that happened all night and all morning long. But here we go. We're finally ready. Clouds will be out there, but the rain should have subsided for the remainder of this day, so we should be ready to rock and roll all afternoon. Jamie Boatwright out there for the Cougars. He gets the start here on this Sunday afternoon as the Cougars donning their red tops, the Sunday Reds as the Cougars like to call them. First pitch is in for a called strike on the outside, and we're underway here at Ragsdale Field. So Jamie Boatwright back out there for CSU, looking to bounce back from his last start against Florida Southern. Had a little bit of a struggle. In fact, he started real nice early on through the first inning. He cruised right through the first inning, got another out in the second inning before he started to run into some trouble in that inning. He ended up lasting just 3 2/3, giving up 8 hits and 6 earned with 3 Ks. But a chance to rebound here for Boatwright as the Cougars are looking for the series sweep. Hoping we can break out the brooms here this afternoon. Ethan Baucom, the leadoff hitter. That's right. Baucom leading things off this time around for UNC Pembroke. Not the normal spot that we've seen him in this series, but he hits the leadoff spot, so it's Baucom, Hammonds, and Clemens, the 1-2-3 for the Braves. Baucom trying to get the Pembroke bats back into things, as it's been just a little bit of a struggle here in this series. Kind of crazy to think at how well UNC Pembroke was hitting coming into this series. They had put up double-digit runs in 3 consecutive games, had scored 45 runs in their previous 3 games before coming here to Columbus, and since then it's been slim pickings, only able to muster 1 run in the 9th inning in that 8-1 loss in the opening game of the series. And, well, they did put up 6 runs in the loss yesterday, but still fell victim to the Cougars. That one off the inside part of the bat, a little bobble there by Horn. He's not going to be able to make the play to first base as Boatwright was there covering. So sloppy start from the Cougars to open things up. Well, the Cougar defense has been lauded this entire series. They've made some incredible plays and have done such a phenomenal job all series long. Obviously, you don't want to start things off with an error. Maybe a sign of things to come, because that field, it drains really well, to be fair. The field does a really good job at draining the water out and keeping things somewhat dry, but, you know, it's still going to be a little slick out there. And some of those infield balls that are hit hard can become a little bit trickier out there for the defensive players. So Baucom's over there on first. Hammond's the one at the plate right now. Gage Hammonds, the junior from Chadbourne, North Carolina. One of the transfers to this squad for UNC Pembroke, coming way of Southeastern Community College. This is his first season as a Brave. Jamie Boatwright behind 2-0. Baucom at first. The lefty deals off speed, settles in there for a strike, 2-1. Boatwright has spent quite a career here at CSU. Some injuries that he's been battling ever since he came here years ago. He's only a redshirt sophomore, even though it feels like he's been here forever. Had a red shirt last year, battled injuries the previous year before that. It's just great to see him healthy out there. Bockham trying to steal on Brooks. No doubt about it. Easily got Bockham. It wasn't even close on that one. A great throw down to second base by Robert Brooks to gun him down. Bockham does have one stolen base this year. He's now 1 for 3 on the season. Just a fantastic job there by Brooks and McDade covering the base. 2-2 the count. Here's the payoff pitch from Boatwright, chopped over to Meadows at third base, 2 down. It's always nice when you can see the defense erase an error that was put up there, especially a leadoff error to open up the game. No one on the base paths with 2 down here for the Cougar defense. Clemens, the one at the plate. Trevor Clemens, the redshirt junior. He's one of the players that has been giving the Cougars trouble this series, and that one's going to be trouble all the way out in left field. It's going to drop in a fair ball as you see Bullock kind of slide there. It's going to be a stand-up double for Clemens, who's over there on second base. Yeah, Clemens has just been a player that has been fantastic for UNC Pembroke. Picked up 3 hits in last night's loss, went 3 for 5 with a run. Had a double last night, or yesterday afternoon, picks up another double here. Boatwright's got to get one out here for the Cougars as that one's ripped foul. Clemens over there at second base. It's Dixon, the one at the plate right now for UNCP. 10 RBIs on the year. Bobby Dixon, you know he can hit the ball. So he hit it a long way for Pembroke in yesterday's loss for the Braves. He also picked up a double as well, so a home run and a double, 4 RBIs for the designated hitter. There's a reason he's hitting in the cleanup spot for UNC Pembroke. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Brooks trying real hard to sell that one to the home plate umpire. Three-one pitch, hit deep in the hole. Boughton is there for CSU, and Horan collects it off the dirt for the third and final out. So the opening error to lead things off for Columbus State does not come back to eventually bite them. Cougar Bats will come up after this on Cougar Sports TV.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% would go pro.
That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
Welcome back here on Cougar Sports TV. Bottom of the first inning, David Meadows will lead things off here for the Cougars. So Jamie Boatwright gets a 0 up there on the board in the run department for the Cougar defense, and Meadows steps in as he's brushed back on the first pitch from UNC Pembroke. Jacob Morrison, the starter out there for the Braves this afternoon. Morrison coming into this game against CSU with a 5.00 ERA in his 2 starts. He's gone 9 innings so far. He's given up 13 hits and 5 runs, but he has struck out 13 batters. It's been real kind of consistent down the line with this starting crew that UNC Pembroke has rolled out this entire weekend. All 3 starters have racked up double-digit strikeouts and then some, but yet the Cougar bats have done a very excellent job at grinding out some of these at-bats and avoiding that large number of strikeouts. Cougars struck out just 6 times in the opening game and only 5 times in yesterday's win. There's a ball there that misses low. 2-2 the count. Morrison has pitched his 2 games against Shepherd and Lockhaven. He'll now get a real quality test here against this Cougar offense that has started to come around in the past few games. Two and two the count. Morrison delivers, and that one lined into left center field for a base knock to lead things off for CSU. It's David Meadows on the base paths for the Cougars. Meadows has had a productive series against UNCP. He's also been racking up the stolen bases. 3 stolen bases in yesterday's win for David Meadows. He's now a perfect 5 for 5 on the year. You know, Pembroke is well aware of his speed and what he can do over at first base. First pitch to Isaac Boughton is a called strike. Boughton, one of the new players on this Cougar roster right now, hitting .265 on the season. He's been slotted into the 2-hole here since becoming a Cougar. He finally picked up his first extra base knock in yesterday's win as he collected a double. He's got 3 RBIs now in this series against UNC Pembroke. The 0-2 called third strike. So there's the first strikeout for UNC Pembroke as Boughton looked at that one. He'll have to head back to the dugout for the Cougars. Robert Brooks at the plate for the Cougars, being a great defensive play there in the first inning, gunning down Ethan Baucom, who was trying to pick up the stolen base. Meadows is over there at first base. You know, the Cougars were really aggressive in their base running yesterday, and even in the opening game of the series. Curious to see how aggressive they'll attempt to be here this afternoon, how slick the infield is. It's a cold day out there on the field, colder than it was against Florida Southern in that entire series. It's only 46 degrees down there on the field right now. Probably aren't going to see maybe as many balls leaving the ballpark as we've seen here in the first couple of games. Had 4 home runs in yesterday's game. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Called strike there on Robert Brooks. David Meadows, the transfer from South Georgia State College for the Cougars. Right before that, he came to South Georgia State from Chipola, where he had actually won a national championship. Helped them to the JUCO title. Now eventually a Cougar. That one is hit right up the gut by Robert Brooks. Meadows thought about taking off for third. He'll head back to second base, so the Cougars got runners on first and second here, threatening early on. Robert Brooks adds another single to his tally. He's been racking up the singles. Not what we're used to seeing from Robert Brooks. Usually it's power or nothing. 14 doubles and 10 home runs last year in his 52 hits. Right now he's got 8 singles and just 1 extra base hit. That's all he's got, 1 extra base hit. No home runs. He had that triple. Yeah, you heard that right, and he wants everyone to know about it. That triple that he had in the opening game of the series. He made sure to let everyone know that it was definitely a triple and not a double compounded by an error. He leads the team in triples. He's the only one that's even hit one. 1 triple for CSU this season. They only had 4 last year. Here's the guy at the plate that everyone wants to see after yesterday's performance. It's Bryson Horn for the Cougars. I say that, and now he rolls himself into a potential double play, and there it is. 4-6-3 turned there by UNC Pembroke. So wipe the singles off the board. Cougars can't do anything with 2 on. We'll head to the second inning here on Cougar Sports TV.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender. Or the color of your skin. Or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Both teams had runners on the base paths. Cougars couldn't get anything done after singles by Meadows and Brooks. There was a double by Clemens, and Bachman reached on an error for UNC Pembroke. They couldn't get anything either. Zeros after one here to open things up in the final game of this three-game set. This is opening up conference play inside the Peach Belt Conference for these two squads. Right now, Columbus State and Lander are the only two teams left that are undefeated inside of conference play. Cougars and Lander both 2-0 as it stands in the early goings. That one hits slowly over to Horn for out number one. Twelve members inside the Peach Belt Conference this season. Again, keep in mind that Claflin has been added to the Peach Belt Conference as a member as far as the sport of baseball goes. So all of these teams will have a chance to take on Claflin. Cougars will do so later on in the year. UNC Pembroke, meanwhile, they'll actually face them later on this month. They'll take on Claflin at home to close out the month of February. Simpson at the plate. That pitch is high for a ball, 2-0. It's been kind of the back end of the lineup that has really been doing a whole lot of damage to the Cougars in the first couple of games in this series. Guys like Simpson and Granger. Dixon was back there for the first two games, but he's moved up to the cleanup spot for this one. But Alex Simpson, a guy that somehow the Cougars just cannot find a way to get out. He's collected multiple hits in both games so far against the Cougars. That one hit sharply over the Meadows, bounced up on him. Now he makes the long throw. What a dig by Bryson Horn. Cougar defense coming through again. Again, we mentioned some of these balls going to be a little bit tough to handle. Could be slick for some of these infielders. It was a long throw to make by DR. What a great dig by Bryson Horn. Man, he has shown that he can, when he's locked in over there at first base, he's a guy that can really get a glove on the ball and get some of those tough to reach balls that are hopping up on you in the dirt. And look at that, they got Simpson out. How about that? Won't have a 1-2-3 inning though, as it's River Ryan keeping the inning alive with a 2-out single. There's another guy that has racked up double-digit hits this season. In fact, he leads UNC Pembroke in hits this year with 15 of them. Now make it 16 for the redshirt junior from Huntersville, North Carolina. Granger, the one at the plate now for UNC Pembroke. Ryan over there on first. Boatwright trying to put another 0 up there for the Cougars. This is kind of where he started to run into trouble against Florida Southern last weekend. I'd like to see him get off to a nice start here with a couple of zeros on the board. 0-1 the count. Taking off is Ryan for second base. They're going to try and steal on Brooks again. They got him! Robert Brooks! Didn't you get the memo the first time around? Second time already by Robert Brooks. Showing off the cannon. Let's head to the bottom of the second here on Cougar Sports TV.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieve a lot of the financial burden.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's will you?
We can.
So the Braves have tried running on Robert Brooks twice now, once in the first inning and once there in the second inning. Both times, Robert Brooks has gunned down the runner trying to get to second base, and it hasn't even really been close there. Brooks showing off the cannon with his right arm and delivering a strike over there to second base. 0 for 2 now on attempting to swipe second are the Braves. It ended their threat in the top of the second, so here we go, bottom of the second here for the Cougars, and Drew Webb will lead things off for CSU. It'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters, Webb, Bullock, and Wilbanks. Webb fouls that one away. Drew Webb trying to really string together some productive at-bats. He's been picking up hits often in these games, but he's really upset that he hasn't been able to pick up multi-hit games. He's got 9 hits on the season, hitting .273. Right now just 2 for 7 in the 2 games against UNC Pembroke. Just picked up a hit in each of the games. 2-2 the count. Oh, that one gets inside on Webb. Drills him in the shoulder blade as he throws the bat down and heads over to first base. Webb gets a free bag. He'll find himself over there on first base. Maybe not quite the way that he wanted to get to first. He was hit yesterday, by the way, as well. That's back-to-back games that Webb has been hit. And I'm pretty sure he was hit in the exact same spot as he turned his back and got drilled right there in the shoulder. Well, puts a leadoff guy, though, on the base paths for CSU, and it's a guy that has speed over there at first in Drew Webb. Want to know the count? Swing and a miss there. 1-1. Dane Bullock has had himself a series against UNC Pembroke. 5 for 9, 3 doubles, 5 RBIs. He's been on fire at the plate for the Cougars, racking up the doubles. He's got 5 doubles now on the season. He had 11 all of last year, 11 doubles and 11 home runs last year. Hasn't hit a home run, though, so far this season. We've been waiting for the prototypical Dane Bullock smash that we've seen from him. Look at Drew Webb trying to take off for second base. Can the Cougars get in there safely? They do. So Robert Brooks guns down a couple of runners. but Littleton unable to get Drew Webb taking second base. Cougars got a runner in scoring position. One and two the count here to the senior from Fayetteville, Georgia. Came up to Columbus State just last season when he transferred from Gordon State Community College. Bullock gives that one a ride into left field. Going back is Hammonds. He's at the warning track, and he makes the grab at the wall. Just give us some sunnier temperatures, some nicer weather, and that one may have a chance at just getting over there. A couple feet shy of a 2-run home run. Would have been the first one of the season for Bullock. It does move Drew Webb, though, over to third base. Puts him 90 feet away from giving the Cougars the lead here in the bottom of the second. It'll fall to the bat of Will Wilbanks, who is hitless against UNC Pembroke this series. 0 for 8 is Wilbanks at the plate. In fact, he's 0 for 10 in his last 3. Looking for his first hit since the Florida Southern series. Now would be a nice time to pick that hit up. He's ahead on Morrison, 2-0. Grounds that one over the first base. It will score Drew Webb. So a nice job by Wilbanks to just put that ball in play and get Webb to come on home to put the early run on the board. Cougars get the first run of the game here in the bottom of the second inning. It all started when Drew Webb was hit by a pitch to lead things off. He stole second base, moved over to third on a Bullock fly out, and then scores on the Wilbanks ground out. There's Matthew McDade picking up a single. First pitch swinging. Connor Curley up at the plate here for the Cougars, with McDade over there on first. Curley's got a 7-game hitting streak on the line here for CSU. He's picked up hits in every single game except one so far this season. Morrison, the 1-0 pitch, misses low and inside there, 2-0. Curley hits that one high in the air. It's going to go into foul territory. We'll see if Hammonds can get there in time. Not quite. As he runs into the fence out there in left field. Curley stands tall at the plate, although he's only 5'8", 155, maybe soaking wet out there. But he is a player that all of a sudden has become a huge addition to this Cougar lineup. And a big-time player for CSU to start his sophomore campaign. Leading the way on this roster right alongside Bryson Horn, with a .419 average through 9 games. Showed bunt there, and that ball ended up hitting him. It looked like in the bottom of the foot, or the top of the foot there. He's trying to shake it off as he heads on over to first base. That's 2 batters now that have been hit, both in this inning. Curley over there on first base, McDade on second. Cougar hitters, they got to watch out. Ball getting a little bit away from Morrison. As one of the coaches will head on out and have a word with him out there on the mound. Well, the Cougars will be in action this upcoming weekend. No midweek game for CSU this week, so keep that in mind. Their next game won't be until this upcoming weekend, but it will be right back here at Ragsdale Field. So make sure you join us here inside Burger King Stadium, as next weekend, another home series, another conference home series. This time the Cougars will be taking on the Saints of Flagler College. So a big 3-game set against Flagler on the 21st, 22nd, and 23rd of February. That's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this upcoming weekend. Not only that, but the Cougars will stay at home pretty much the rest of the month. We got a jam-packed schedule here at Ragsdale Field all month long. The 3 against Flagler, and then a midweek game against Montevallo, and then 3 more conference games. It'll be against Lander. That one is hit deep into the hole, and they're going to go the short route. Smart play defensively there by the shortstop Mobley to go over to third base for the force out. 1 run does score, though, for the Cougars. They take the 1-0 lead here after 2.
Stop to make sure someone is okay. Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can.
Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Opportunity to me means doing the things that will make you a better future. I always dreamed of graduating from college. So being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed was paying off. Having an athletic scholarship for the University of Mount Olive was key for my success. I had the opportunity to not only get an education, but be able to develop as an individual.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head.
Welcome back here on Cougar Sports TV. Cougars have the 1-0 lead. They were able to get the first run of the game thanks to the RBI ground out by Will Banks. Had a couple of batters hit in that inning, and they put a couple runners on there late, but unable to bring any other runs across. So it's 1-0 as we enter the top of the third here on Cougar Sports TV. We welcome all of y'all joining us here this afternoon. Had a hour late start on this one due to the inclement weather around town, but we're getting this game in. That's a great sign, and it's good to be out here at Ragsdale Field for the third and final game of this series. We didn't want to have to cancel it like we did a couple years ago, if you Cougar fans out there recall, as well as you UNC Pembroke fans. 2 seasons ago, these two teams met here in Columbus, Georgia, and they actually had to cancel the final game, which actually caused some trouble for the Cougars entering Peach Belt Conference tournament play, seeding-wise and whatnot, but that third and final game had to get canceled because of the rain here at Ragsdale Field. Luckily, it's not getting canceled this time around. And even though it's going to be cloudy and chilly out there, the rain has subsided and shouldn't be here throughout the rest of this afternoon. Well, Boatwright puts Granger on the base paths to lead this inning off. It's Granger, Littleton, and then the top of the lineup coming back around. UNC Pembroke trying to play a little small ball here and manufacture a run as Littleton showed. But Littleton, someone that's been struggling at the plate all season long for UNC Pembroke. Runner Granger over there on first base. Littleton shows bunt, pulled back that time. Got games happening all across the Peach Belt Conference this afternoon. Flagler taking on Georgia Southwestern. Lander looking for the sweep against Claflin. That bunt was well placed. A good job by Boatwright to backhand that one before it landed into no man's land. Underhands it over to Horan at first, so well done there by Littleton on the sac bunt. Francis Marion was taking on Georgia College. That final game has actually been canceled. So one of the games that has been canceled due to the inclement weather. North Georgia taking on USC Aiken, and then obviously this game here at Ragsdale Field. Young Harris, the only team that hasn't started conference play. They did play Albany State yesterday. In fact, they almost lost to them like the Cougars did. Look at Albany State playing some real good ball lately. Young Harris barely squeaked out a 1-0 win against Albany State. Cougars just couldn't figure things out against Albany State in that midweek game. Kind of a weird one for CSU in that 5-0 shutout loss. One on the count, one down, runner on second base. That pitch is hit high in the air. It's not going to be deep enough for the runner to advance to third base as Curley is there for out number 2. So once again, CSU just 1 out away from putting another 0 up there, despite UNC Pembroke getting one on the base paths. This time it was the leadoff hitter that drew a walk. Granger, that is. Still over there on second base. So right now, Boatwright has his hands full. He's got to deal with Hammonds at the plate. A 6'3", 205-pound outfielder. He grounded out to third his first time up. Here's the pitch outside, ball 2. Two-0 pitch, hit well into left center field. Curley going all the way back. He's going to look at it as it bounces off the wall, takes a hop in front of him as he'll have to relay this one towards third base. And the long throw isn't going to get there in time. A triple there by Hammonds as he smashes one off the wall in left center. Well, just like we saw all game yesterday, UNC Pembroke immediately responding to the Cougars. It's happened time and time again. The Cougars scored 2 runs. Pembroke scored 2 of their own. CSU scored 2 more. Pembroke scored 2 more. It just kept happening in the game yesterday before finally the Cougars started to pull away late. That's something that Coach App continually preaches about. Having a clean shutdown inning after you get a run on the board. And with 2 outs, a triple there by Hammonds ties this game up. First triple of the season for Hammonds. There's a strikeout there as the runner is stranded over on third base. Clemens not happy about that one. He'll go back to the dugout, but Pembroke has tied this one up at 1 apiece, heading to the bottom of the third.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
NCAA Teamworks is how the NCAA, member schools, student athletes, and corporate champions and partners actively engage in outreach efforts where national championships are played. Through initiatives such as NCAA Community 101 service learning projects, disaster relief efforts, youth clinics, backpack and school supply donations, and support of Special Olympics and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the NCAA and its partners work together to leave a lasting legacy in the community. For more information on NCAA Teamworks, go to ncaa.com/teamworks.
One to one our score here as we enter the bottom of the third here on Cougar Sports TV. Boughton will lead things off for CSU. Boughton, Brooks, and Horn, the 2, 3, and 4 hitters for the Cougars. Boughton first pitch swinging. Tough play to make there by Ryan, but he does so fading away in the air. Delivers a strike over to first base. Great defense there, and Ryan showing off the range over at second base. Pembroke trying to say that they've got defense, infield defense, just as well as the Cougars do. That one, another first pitch swinging Ryan. This time steps forward and makes the throw over the first. Ryan getting his steps in here in the bottom of the third. Cougars went to the right of Ryan. Cougars go in front of Ryan. He makes plays both times. 2 quick outs. Does he have the inning, the 3-pitch inning? Nope, not quite in him there as Horn fouls that one back. But it's a nice bounce back from Morrison. If you're a Pembroke fan, after the inning that he previously had in the second, he hit 2 batters, gave up a single and an RBI ground out. Had some struggles in that inning as he ended up having to face 6 different batters. But he threw 2 pitches, got 2 outs to Boughton and Brooks. Here he's ahead 0-1 to Horn, now 0-2. The 0-2 pitch. This is just outside there, 1-2. Good eye from Bryson Horn. In the Cougars, they've only struck out once. That was Boughton back in the opening inning as the second batter of the game for the Cougar lineup. Morrison, racked up 9 strikeouts against Shepherd when he went 5 innings, and then picked up another 4 in his 4 innings of work against Lockhaven. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Spoiled away. We'll do it again. 2-2, 2 down, misses there. It's a full count. Bryson Horn has only struck out 3 times this season. 3 times in his 37 at-bats. But the out will be recorded there over at first base by the catcher, and that'll do it for the Cougars as we'll head to the dugout. Through 3, we're all knotted up at 1 apiece.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% would go pro.
That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract. No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Back here on Cougar Sports TV, we're through 3, all knotted up at 1s out there between the Braves and Cougars. Boatwright starts his 4th inning of work here on Cougar Sports TV. Dixon, Mobley, and Simpson, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, up at the plate here for the Braves. Dixon grounded out his first time up, and he sends that one for a ride. Cougars are just going to have to look at that one. Almost went on top of Cunningham as it just goes off the railing there. A solo bomb by Dixon. He hit a home run in yesterday's loss for the Braves. He's got home runs in back-to-back games now, his 3rd home run this season. A no-doubter right there from Dixon. That was similar to his one yesterday that he hit well into left center field. Not quite as far yesterday as we just saw right there. My goodness, Dixon, he's got a lot of power. 6'2", 210-pound junior can mash him. As he sent that one for a ride. So the solo home run gives Pembroke their first lead of the game. If Boatwright can bounce back right here for the Cougars. Swing and a miss there. Quickly behind 0-2 is Mobley. Jamie Boatwright has given up now 5 home runs on the year. 4 of them came in his last outing against Florida Southern. And just ran into some bad luck against Florida Southern and then had that one inning where things just kind of imploded on him. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Mobley. Boatwright only got 3 appearances in all the way back in 2018 before he got hurt for the season. That one hit deep into the hole. McDade backhands it and gets the out over at first. He only had those 3 appearances for the Cougars, and then obviously last year didn't make any appearances, dealing with his injury.
Now batting, number 32, Alex Simpson.
But it was great to see him back out there when he came back out to open up this year and just threw a gem against Barton. That was part of that 9-1 win against Barton back on February 2nd when Boatwright went 7 innings, giving up just 2 hits, no earned with 3 strikeouts. He was lights out for the Cougars in that win. Here's the 2-0 pitch, chopped just on the edge of the grass there as Boughton steps up into the dirt for out number 2. A good job by Jamie Boatwright getting a couple of ground outs after giving up that mammoth home run. He'll have to deal with Ryan, though, who's at the plate, already picked up a single his first time up. River Ryan approaching a 400 average on the season, albeit early, but he's been a real productive player so far for Pembroke. A great player for them last season when he hit .331. Two and 0 the count. Base is empty here with 2 down. Boatwright's pitch, another grounder. This time Boughton rolls over to his left, fires it over the horn at first, who digs it off the dirt. So ground out, ground out, ground out for Jamie Boatwright after he gave up the solo home run. We'll see what the Cougar bats can do if we can even things up after this.
Kids fall in love with sports. Our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Back here on Cougar Sports TV after UNC Pembroke has taken the 2-1 lead thanks to that solo home run by Bobby Dixon, his second one in as many games. Drew Webb to lead things off here for CSU. Webb, Bullock, and Wilbanks as Webb looks at a strike to start this at-bat. He was hit by a pitch his first time up at the plate. He was hit by a pitch in yesterday's win as well. Couple of stingers to the back. This one rolled over to third for out number 1. Dane Bullock, a guy that has been on fire for CSU. What an addition he was last year for the Cougars. Played his JUCO ball down at Gordon State. A guy that's known for the pop and power that he has on his bat. 7 home runs and 11 doubles as a sophomore over at Gordon State. Had 10 extra base knocks his freshman year. And last year, just such a big addition to this Cougar lineup. And look at that one. He sends it for a ride into left field. We're all evened up at 2 apiece. Dane Bullock, his first home run this season. We were just saying he's got some pop and power to his bat. Waiting for him to finally hit a home run because he has 5 doubles. Look at the sign of relief there on his face as the dugout greets him. Dane Bullock his first home run this season, a solo shot. Ties this one up. Maybe I should talk about the power and pop for all of our batters if they're going to send some rides like that after I do so. Wilbanks the one at the plate now in a 2-2 game. One on the count. 1-2. So Morrison for UNC Pembroke, just the second home run that he's given up this season. Only gave up 3 home runs last year in his 14 appearances. Did a real good job at keeping the ball inside the ballpark. But Dane Bullock got the better of him that time around. We mentioned Dane Bullock had a hot bat, as you see Wilbanks strike out there. In fact, if you missed it in the second inning, Dane Bullock hit a ball all the way to the wall before the left fielder grabbed it right in front at the warning track there to prevent a home run from going out for Dane Bullock. So he's been real close for the Cougars. Just been knocking on the door, but finally getting one across for his first home run of the season. McDade, the one at the plate, picked up a single his first time around. Base is empty here for the sophomore. The 1-1 pitch, skied high. It's going to track out of play, 1-2. This is going to be a fun year inside the Peach Belt Conference, seeing all the talent that the PBC usually has year in and year out. You know, Georgia College, a solid squad. They're already off to a 4-1 start in PBC play, 8-1 overall. I mean, you kind of go down the list of teams inside the Peach Belt Conference. Georgia College 8-1, North Georgia 7-1, Flagler 8-1. That's the team that the Cougars will see next. USC Aiken 7-1, Young Harris 6-1. Pembroke before this series was 6-2. This is always a deep conference with a lot of talent up and down the standings. Called third strike there on McDade. He wasn't happy about it, so back-to-back strikeouts by Morrison after he gave up the solo home run. We're all tied again. It's 2-2 through 4.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Back here on Cougar Sports TV as we enter the top of the 5th inning, Cougars have made a pitching change. So Jamie Boatwright's afternoon is now complete for the Cougars. New pitcher out there is number 31, Peyton Burton, as that one's some trouble in foul territory, but coming all the way over and making the grab was Matthew McDade for out number 1. Peyton Burton, first time that Cougar fans will get to see him here at Ragsdale Field. He's making his second appearance of the season, went 1 inning, gave up 2 hits and 1 earned with a strikeout his first time around. With a right-handed freshman out of Phoenix City, Alabama, a chance to don the Cougar red for CSU. One-0 pitch, misses there, 2-0. Peyton Burton graduated top 10% of his class out of Central High. There's a lot of athletic talent that comes out of Central High. All sports out there, football team, basketball, baseball. Central High, one of those breeding grounds over in Phoenix City for athletes. He was an all-by-city selection. Closer over there at Central High for them last year, picking up 8 saves. That was a strike there after he fell behind 3-0. Here's the 3-1 pitch. Misses for ball 4. He wasn't happy about it. Just a little high and outside there. Long frame from Peyton Burton, standing at 6 feet. Just 165 pounds, though. So now he's got to deal with the top of the lineup, and, well, welcome to the Peach Belt Conference, Peyton Burton. You've got to deal with one of the best hitters inside the entire conference right here. We'll see what he's got as he went breaking ball there for the first pitch, kept it high, 1-0. You don't want to keep that high across the plate if you're Burton, as this batter, Ethan Baucom, will send it for a ride. 20 home runs last year. Just crushed the Peach Belt Conference all season long, to the tune of 71 total RBIs. But he's been struggling here this series against the Cougars, and really kind of struggling in the early goings of the season. That one gets through the hole, though, as he picks up a single. Goes through the left side, puts runners on first and second. So Baucom in the opening game went 1 for 4 and then 0 for 4 in the second game, so he was just 1 for 8 coming into this game. And he collects his first hit of the afternoon there for UNCP. Burton's got some trouble out there on the base paths with Hammonds up at the plate. Remember the last time that Hammonds was up at the dish, he hit that triple off the wall towards left center field. He's behind again in the count. This time to Hammonds, 1-0. Runners on first and second. The pitch there is hit well into left field. And it looks like Bullock's just going to look at that one. A 3-run home run. A sharp liner out there to left field that heads just over the field on Ragsdale Field. And that 3-run home run is going to put UNC Pembroke on top, 5-2. We just mentioned Hammonds. He's got power. So Hammonds goes triple and home run with 4 RBIs in his last 2 at-bats. That's the 5th home run now of the season for Hammonds. Remember, him and Dixon both homered yesterday for UNC Pembroke, and now they've both homered for UNC Pembroke today. That's going to be it for Burton. We'll take a break here on Cougar Sports TV.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay. Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Codify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Opportunity to me means doing the things that will make you a better future. I always dreamed of graduating from college. So being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed was paying off. Having an athletic scholarship for the University of Mount Olive was key for my success. I had the opportunity to not only get an education, but be able to develop as an individual.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
NCAA Teamworks is how the NCAA, member schools, student athletes, and corporate champions and partners actively engage in outreach efforts where national championships are played. Through initiatives such as NCAA Community 101 service learning projects, disaster relief efforts, youth clinics, backpack and school supply donations, and support of Special Olympics and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the NCAA and its partners work together to leave a lasting legacy in the community. For more information on NCAA Teamworks, go to ncaa.com/teamworks.
So Peyton Burton comes in, only records 1 out, gives up 2 hits and 3 earned. As Hammond sent that ball for a ride into left field, a 3-run home run, puts UNC Pembroke on top 5-2. New pitcher out there for the Cougars is Brockman, Zach Brockman that is, the right-handed junior from Savannah, Georgia. As he's made his way over to CSU from Liberty University. Burton ranges all the way over to his left to get out number 2. So Burton, when he came in, he got Granger to foul out, to pop out into foul territory. But then he walked Littleton, gave up a single through the hole to Baucom before Hammonds sent one into left field. Quick ground out recorded there with Brockman on the mound. See if the Cougars can get one more quick out here and get their bats back up. Maybe try and get a run or 2 back here in the bottom frame. The 0-1 pitch goes through the left side, though, over to Bullock in left field. So a 2-out single from Dixon keeps this inning alive. And Dixon, again, he's been the Cougar killer throughout this entire series. Him and Hammonds really have kind of been the main guys that have done damage.
Now batting, number 13, Jared Mobley.
Dixon over there on first base. Mobley the one at the plate. Here's the pitch from Brockman. Called strike. Mobley a couple of ground outs in his first 2 at-bats. One to first, one to second. This is the second appearance for Brockman this season. He went 1 2/3 earlier this season. Gave up a couple of hits, picked up 2 strikeouts. That pitch settles in there nicely for a called strike. He's ahead 0-2. By the way, we've got the final day of the tournament over there at Cougar Field, as the Lady Cougars will be in action later this evening. Couldn't quite tell you when that's going to happen, because right now the opening game of the tournament is still going on. They're in the bottom of the 8th of a 12-9 game. That game started all the way back around noon. They're just a little bit behind schedule over there. I know that they've already canceled the final, 4th and final game. Lady Cougars were scheduled to play the 3rd and 4th game, so they'll only get the 3rd game in, but, man, they are way behind over there at Cougar Field. Grounder over to short should end the inning, and it does there as Boughton makes the throw over to Horn at first. UNC Pembroke gets the damage done. They play 3 runs on a 3-run home run by Hammond, so we'll see how the Cougar bats respond after this.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
Back here on Cougar Sports TV, bottom of the 5th inning, CSU finds themselves trailing by 3, largest deficit for the Cougars in this series. Not the largest deficit for CSU this season, and not the largest one that they've overcome, as Columbus State had that thrilling 10-9 comeback win against Florida Southern last Sunday in the final game of the series, when they found themselves trailing 9-2 entering the 6th inning of play. Right now it's just a 5-2 score line. Bottom of the 5th. Curley leading things off here for CSU, and then the top of the lineup will come back around. Morrison, the 1-1. So we saw Boatwright only go 4 innings of work for the Cougars. Morrison has begun his 5th inning on the mound. He only went 5 innings against Shepherd and just 4 against Lockhaven. Bullpen is warming up over there on the right side for UNC Pembroke. Curley was hit by a pitch his first time at the plate on the top of his foot. Here's the 2-2 pitch, hits the dirt, full count. Well, you had mentioned earlier that these chilly temperatures, ball really wasn't carrying out whatsoever. Say that, and then we've already seen 3 home runs here in this game, 2 by UNC Pembroke. As Curley fouls that one back to stay alive. Curley 3 for 6 in this series against UNC Pembroke with 3 runs, a couple of stolen bags. Here's the payoff from Morrison. Curley thought it was ball 4. Tossed his bat to the side like he was walking over to first base. Home plate umpire says walk back to the dugout instead. The 1 down here for the Cougars. That's the 3rd consecutive strikeout, by the way, for Morrison. All 3 strikeouts after he gave up that home run to Dane Bullock. And now first pitch swinging by Meadows, a fly out into left.
Now batting number 2, Isaac Belton.
Isaac Bowden at the plate here for CSU. 2 down, base is empty. Morrison's first pitch. A ball there. By the way, I just mentioned that the Lady Cougars will be in action later today. They still have that first game going on in extra innings. The home team just scored 4 runs to tie the game up in extra innings. Not sure if that first game is ever going to end, and if the Lady Cougars will ever get to play today. But we'll keep you updated on our social media when and if they'll get that game in later today. I'm sure they will. Just might be a while. Tennis teams had some great outings yesterday for CSU. A couple of wins against Anderson, as you see Boughton ground out there. That's going to end the 5th inning of work. So UNC Pembroke hangs on to their 3-run lead. Cougars can't get any runs back. It's 5-2 through 5 here on Cougar Sports TV.
On and off the court, we're focused on creating lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. More college athletes are earning degrees than ever before, but we've still got work to do. That's why we're raising the bar for incoming freshmen, so they're prepared when they get to campus. And why teams can't play in championships unless they make the grade. Education matters, and putting academics first creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity. While they're focused on success, we're focused on them. Because protecting college athletes doesn't only happen on the field. After the buzzer, it's about healthier student athletes. So we're reforming to meet their needs, investing in groundbreaking research, and changing the conversation around mental health. We're working hard to protect college athletes, because prioritizing their well-being creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity.
Five to 2 the scoreline here on Cougar Sports TV. Pembroke hit a 3-run home run there in the top of the 5th, courtesy of Hammonds to jump out in front. Simpson, Ryan, and Granger, the 3 due up here for UNC Pembroke as we've entered the 6th inning of action here on Cougar Sports TV. That's the final game of the series. Cougars obviously have already won the series, having taken both games. Both of the first games of this series, an 8-1 win in the opener, and then an 11-6 win in yesterday's win. They're going for the sweep here, but they'll have to pull a comeback in order to do so. Bullpen warming up for both sides right now as that ball is drilled well into right field. Webb is all the way back there. He can't pull it back. That's going to be a solo home run. Simpson gets in on the home run action, his 3rd home run this season. Well, Pembroke just starting to take out some frustration for how the first 2 games went. The long ball wasn't working for them. This is a team known for power and a team that can mash them with the best of them inside the entire Peach Belt Conference. They had 11 home runs and 11 doubles coming into this series. They hit 2 home runs in yesterday's loss, and right now they're just teeing off their 3rd home run of the game, 3rd one in as many innings. So this time it was Brockman giving up the home run. So we saw Boatwright give one up, Burton give one up, and now Brockman is giving up a home run. That pitch goes over the head of River Ryan. Home runs by Dixon, Hammonds, and now Simpson. That pitch inside on Ryan. Boy, 3 straight pitches that have gone inside on him. One brushed him off the plate, one he had a duck underneath, and that one in on his hands. Brockman's been cutting it just a little close in this AB. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. Ryan got just a little bit underneath that one, but it's still carrying back towards the wall. Bullock had tracked all the way back to the wall, and then he takes a few steps forward for out number 1. Just a bit underneath that one for Ryan, although he still sent it a long ways out there into left center. First out of the top of the 6th, with Granger now at the plate. The pitch fouled back. Granger walked his first time up and then fouled out to the second baseman, McDade, his second time around. That was when Burton first came into the game. He got that quick out on Granger before things started to fall apart. Granger again skying one high. This time it's going to stay in fair territory, but it'll be McDade once again for CSU recording the out. Granger a couple of pop-ups in his last 2 ABs, and it brings the bottom of the lineup, Littleton, to the plate. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss there from Littleton. Only made 7 appearances as a freshman. Originally out of North Johnston High. The 0-1 pitch fouled back, 0-2. So good job by Brockman picking up a couple of outs after giving up that solo home run to Simpson. See if he can retire the side here with Littleton at the plate. 1-2 the count. Littleton, the right-handed hitter. 6 feet, 175. Kind of crowding the plate there. Pops that one back. We'll run it back at 1-2. Cougars have gotten the best of Littleton throughout this entire series. You know, he hasn't played all 3 games. This is his second game of the 3-game set. Two and 2 the count with 2 down. Bases empty. Pitch from Brockman. Sent over to Burton. He's been active all game long as he makes another throw over to Horn at first. Well, a solo home run by Simpson tacks on another run. It makes it 6-2. Pembroke on top by 4.
Across divisions, sports, championships, and schools for nearly 500,000 student athletes. athletes. College sports create lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. We've raised the academic bar, so more are earning degrees, creating healthier campuses by working with the nation's brightest minds, and making sure more have the chance to succeed and are supported on their journey. But beyond the numbers, it's about opportunity, and we're working to provide it for every student athlete.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It would just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
We can stop.
Back here on Cougar Sports TV as we enter the bottom of the 6th inning. New pitcher out there for UNC Pembroke is Darren Bowen. So the afternoon for Jacob Morrison is complete. He does finish things up going 5 innings. Gave up 4 hits, to the Cougars and just 2 runs. A productive outing once again for Morrison out there on the mound for UNC Pembroke. Picked up 5 strikeouts as well against Cougar hitters. Now's the rally time, though, for CSU. We'll see if the Cougars can start to creep their way back into this one. Brooks will be the guy to start things off here in the bottom of the 6th. Brooks, Horn, and Webb, so the heart of your lineup upcoming here for CSU. Now's the time. That one ripped down the third base line, but just to the left of the bag there. Robert Brooks, 1 for 2 this afternoon. Singled his first time up before grounding out to second. Still searching for that first home run by Brooks this season. We were looking for it from Dane Bullock earlier this afternoon. He picked that one up in the bottom of the 4th inning. Brooks still without a home run. Not only that, still without a double. A guy who racked up 14 doubles and 10 home runs last season. Here's the 2-2 offering. Ball 3. So the payoff pitch upcoming for Bowen is fouled back. Darren Bowen, the right-handed freshman from St. Paul's, North Carolina. He's been called upon often already this season by UNC Pembroke. Haven't seen him all series long, but he had already made 4 appearances in the first 8 games of the year for the Braves. Here's the payoff, hit well into left field. It's going to drop in for a base knock. Good hands on that play by Robert Brooks. Turning on that one in the left. Leadoff single.
Now batting number 10, Bryson Horn.
Brings Bryson Horn up to the plate for the Cougars. See if CSU can start to string together a couple of hits here, with the bullpen now coming into play for UNC Pembroke. Here's the pitch from Bowen, misses low there, ball one. Horn, the lefty for the Cougars. Kind of a guy that's been brought in here by CSU to help protect Robert Brooks in the lineup. He's been hitting right behind Brooks in the cleanup spot. Big-time addition out of Georgia Highlands College. Already won himself Peach Belt Conference Player of the Week in the first week of the season, when he hit over 500 for the Cougars, helping them to that 3-game sweep to open up their weekend when they played down in Tampa, Florida. Wins against St. Leo, Catawba, and Barton for CSU. This is the start that you want to see for the Cougars in their 2020 campaign. After last season, just a little bit of a disappointment for the Cougars. Not making postseason play, NCAA play that is. Bryce Horn, a guy that reminds me a lot of Frank Wager, player that's been here at CSU for the past couple of seasons. They have the same type of build. Both of them playing over there at first base. And both of them can send the ball a long ways. He sent that one a long ways in the air, but not far as that ball flies out to right for out number one. One down here for the Cougars, with Drew Webb coming up to the plate. Webb looks at a ball in the dirt to start off his at-bat. Webb was hit by a pitch his first time up, then grounded out. Bowen taking his time, looking back to first base. Brooks not a threat to run at all for the Cougars, although he did attempt to steal a base last year once, unsuccessfully. We'll just let him throw runners out from behind the dish instead. He's already gunned down 2, attempting to steal second base in today's game. Webb ahead in the count, 2-1. Here's the pitch from Bowen. Webb sends that one well into left center field. He tosses the bat as that ball is going to go over the wall for a 2-run home run. Here come the Cougars. Well, yesterday, Webb said that he wanted to dedicate his second at-bat to me and just grounded out to first base. Maybe he should have waited a day, as he sends that ball over the left field fence for a 2-run home run. Cougars cut the deficit in half, 6-4. That's the second home run of the season for Drew Webb. This is the start to the rally that Cougar fans like to see. Got a lot of power, back-to-back batters here for the Cougars. We've already seen what Dane Bullock can do with the ball. Bullock hit that solo home run for CSU back in the bottom of the 4th inning. He was sitting on a pitch there and swung out on that one. He's behind 1-2. Well, Bullock will have to wait till his next at-bat as he strikes out there. That was the second home run, by the way, that Bowen has given up this season. Now the freshman getting a welcome to the Peach Belt Conference play there by Drew Webb. Cougars only trail by 2, 6-4. A lot of ball game left to be played here at Ragsdale Field. At the plate, it's Will Banks. 2 down, and the base path's empty here for CSU. Will Banks looks at a ball that misses there. He's ahead 2-1. So Drew Webb, his second home run this season. He hit 8 home runs last year for CSU. That's 7 his sophomore season. He's been in this starting lineup throughout his entire career here at CSU. He's been a big-time player for the Cougars throughout the years. One of the local products for CSU. Hometown just right up the road at Midland. Went to Brookstone High before making his way over to CSU. He's one of those rare 4-year seniors. Well, Coach Appleton has made his way on out to have a word with the home plate umpire. As the umpires are going to get together. Not sure what they're looking to discuss with Will Banks at the plate. Have they finished that game over there at softball? No, they have not. It's still going on. Extra innings in the first game of this Sunday tournament. It's 14-12 there. Top of the 9th inning, it looks like. 14-12. Bottom of the 9th now. They've reached the bottom of the 9th, so maybe it will come to a conclusion. Then they have one more game to play, and then the Lady Cougars will be the 3rd game in the Sunday final day of that tournament. Will Banks the one doing battle at the plate here with Bowen. He's in a full count with 2 down, and the base is empty. Will Banks 0 for 3, although he did pick up that RBI back in the 2nd inning that scored the opening run of the game. Here's the payoff pitch. Will Banks looks at a ball that's high. He'll head on over to first base and keep this inning alive for the Cougars. Brings Matthew McDade to the plate for CSU. Will Banks over there on first base, drawing the walk. McDade had a single his first time up before striking out looking, and he goes first pitch hunting as the third baseman Simpson is going to call everyone off and record the third and final out. Well, the Cougars do get 2 runs back thanks to Drew Webb. His 2-run home run cuts the deficit in half, 6-4 through 6.
To make sure someone is okay, get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Codify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
From court to court and lane to lane under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
It's more than a whistle or a call. We're committed to giving college athletes a fair shot, on and off the field. Covering the full cost of attendance, because college costs go beyond tuition. Keeping dreams on track, regardless of performance or injury. And creating equal opportunities and inclusive environments. It's about respecting college athletes and prioritizing fairness to build a pathway to lifelong opportunity.
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experience as possible.
Label me.
Back here on Cougar Sports TV as we start the top of the 7th inning. Tyler Cadenhead has come into pitch here for the Cougars. He's the 4th pitcher for CSU this afternoon. Cadenhead will have his hands full with Baucom at the plate in the top of the lineup, but he gets a quick ground out, but Horn can't quite dig it out. It's a tough play to make there for Horn over at first base. Ball hopped away from him there on the throw from Boughton. So Baucom finds his way on the base paths yet again. This is actually the 3rd time that Baucom has reached the base paths in this game. Hammond's now at the plate. Caden had already some work to do here for CSU. You don't want to give any of those runs right back to UNC Pembroke immediately after they cut the deficit in half. Oh, and 1 the count. Hammonds with a triple and a home run to his name in this game. You know the Cougars are going to be extremely careful pitching to this batter. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Cadenhead misses there, 2-1. Tyler Cadenhead, he's been around the program for quite some time. One of those other four-year players for CSU, originally from Omaha, Georgia, at Glenwood High. There's a pitch that catches the strike zone there, evens the count at 2-2. Big pitch upcoming here from the senior. Here's the 2-2, got him swinging. Into the outside there. Hammonds went fishing for it. He goes down swinging. Big out recorded from Caden Head on the mound. So Caden Head gets the better of Hammonds after Hammonds had done all sorts of damage against the Cougars his last 2 times up with the triple and the home run. Clemens now at the plate. Remember, Bachman already tried stealing a base on Robert Brooks earlier this game. Unsuccessfully. He was caught stealing back in the first inning. Here's the throw home, and it goes right through the left side for Clemens. So a single for Clemens moves Bachman over to second base. Still only 1 out after Bachman reached courtesy of that error. First pitch, a ball sent in there by Caden Head. So Tyler Caden Head making his second appearance so far this season for the Cougars. He's 0-1, went 3 1/3 in his start, giving up 9 hits and 4 earned with 4 Ks. It's against Albany State. Looking to bounce back here in relief, coming out of the bullpen. We've seen Caden Head as a starter for CSU, and he's been a solid starter for the Cougars over the past couple of seasons, especially back in 2018 when he kind of cemented himself as that number 3 starter, part of that World Series run that the Cougars made when TC went 9-1 overall with a 3.33 ERA. He had been that midweek starter, had started some of the third Sunday games here and there. He's a great pitcher on that squad for the Cougars. 2 on right here, and that one's going to go straight through the left side again. They're going to wave the runner home. It's Bachman. The throw from Dane Bullock is going to get there in time. No! Umpire says he's safe at home. That was a bullet from Bullock. Got all the way to home plate, and it looked like it may have been there in time, but home plate umpire says otherwise. Bachman slides in just safely and in time as Pembroke makes it a 7-4 game. Bunt being shown there. As you see Jarrett Mobley take his helmet off, has to slowly get up. There's a crowd on the plate there, got brushed way back. By the way, Dixon has picked up hits in 3 consecutive at-bats, and he got an RBI on that single through the left side. He's gone home run, single, his last 3 times up. Mobley still without a hit in this one. Looks like everything's all right with Mobley as he'll head on back to the batter's box. Runners on first and second for TC. The pitch fouled straight back. Right now the Cougars trying to prevent any more runs from coming across here after they had just gotten 2 back thanks to the Drew Webb home run. 7-4 is the score line here. Runners both trying to advance. They are thrown out again. It's the 3rd time today that Robert Brooks has gunned down a runner attempting to steal a base. They went with the double steal there from first and second. What a strike thrown there by Robert Brooks, getting Clemens out at third base. That pitch fouled straight back. So CSU needs just one more out to get out of this inning, and they'll gladly take it if you can hold Pembroke to just that one run that was on a bang-bang play at the plate. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Runner on second base. That one's outside. Full count. Runner is Dixon over there on second base. After Clemens was thrown out trying to take third. Mobley the one at the plate. 2 down, runner on second. Payoff pitch off the end of the bat. Lifted softly into right field. Easy play to make there for Drew Webb. And there's the 3rd out for CSU. UNC Pembroke does score 1 run, but the Cougar defense comes up. Robert Brooks gunning down another runner. Will head to the bottom of the 7th. Cougars trail by 3.
Label me.
You know you want to.
Don't be shy.
You do it behind my back.
So say it to my face.
You don't know me. You know what I am?
I'm a pitcher.
I'm a striker.
I'm a point guard.
I'm a linebacker.
I'm a setter.
Shortstop.
High jumper.
Wrestler.
Defender.
Goalie.
Student.
Student athletes.
That's who we are.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SAC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Choosing the right college can be a challenge. Does it offer degrees suited to your career goals? Are emerging fields of study more your interest, like cybersecurity, gaming, or environmental science? What about extracurricular activities, such as campus life, study abroad, or honors? Are scholarships and financial assistance available? Columbus State University has always been one of the most affordable colleges in Georgia. Now it's also one of the fastest growing. When you ask the right questions, you'll find out why CSU should be
Welcome back here on Cougar Sports TV. We are into the bottom of the 7th inning. Cougars trail by 3, 7-4. Connor Curley will lead things off here for the Cougars at the plate. And another pitching change, this time for UNC Pembroke. So the freshman Bowen, his afternoon is complete. He gave up that 2-run home run to Drew Webb. Now they've brought in River Ryan. You'll know that name because he's the second baseman for UNC Pembroke, but a guy that also pitches for them. So Ryan will come in, making his 4th appearance this season. He's gone 3 innings, has given up just 3 hits with 5 strikeouts and no earned runs all year. A 0 ERA on the season for Ryan. He's been a shutdown pitcher for the Braves. Has a save to his name as well this season. We'll see what the second baseman / relief pitcher has here for the Braves against Curley. And then the top of the lineup will be coming around for CSU. Curley looks at a called strike 3. That's the second time in a row that Curley has looked at a called third strike. He'll go back to the dugout.
Now batting number 7, David Meadows.
By the way, Hogan has been the one that's moved over to second base in place of Ryan. Brennan Hogan, the senior infielder, is over there at second base. Here's David Meadows up at the plate. He'll have the bases empty up there for CSU. They gave back a run to Pembroke in the top of the 7th. By the way, Pembroke has scored in 5 consecutive innings now. They've been putting up runs against the Cougars here in this 3rd and final game of the series. That ball by Meadows just goes foul on the outside of the third base bag. One and 2 the count, 1 down, bases are empty. Ryan really takes his time up there on the mound for UNC Pembroke. 2 and 2 the count. Meadows 1 for 3 on the afternoon. Singled in his first at bat, but a ground out and a fly out since then. That one goes straight to the new second baseman, Hogan. Didn't have to move 1 step there for the out. So 2 quick outs recorded by Ryan. Well, Ryan is already reminding me of a former Cougar in Justin Evans. Played on the infield for CSU and then would come in relief for the Cougars. Gonna be that shutdown relief pitcher. And a real strong fastball. A guy that was eventually drafted and had an injury this past year, and hopefully it looks as though everything is cleared up and that he's been pitching again and ready to pitch again for spring training. So definitely wish Justin Evans the best of luck out there for the former Cougar. There's the 3rd out. 3 quick outs recorded there by Ryan on the mound. So we'll head to the 8th inning. 7-4 our scoreline. UNCP on top.
There are over 480,000 college athletes. Only 2% would go pro.
That means over 470,000 will not get a shoe contract.
No autographs. No private jets. No fan clubs. No Hall of Fame inductions. Instead, they will walk away with something much more valuable.
I knew that there was an opportunity to have my college paid for if I was good enough to play baseball at that level. That was going to make a big difference in my family. D2 baseball gave me an opportunity to play at a high level and to get an education that's going to be valuable for me throughout the rest of my life. I chose to take my experience of being a student athlete and pursue that within my career and to get a master's degree. If I wouldn't have had a baseball scholarship, there'd be no chance that I'm doing what I'm doing today.
Don't you worry, my child. Everything's gonna be just fine. Little darling, you keep on walking, 'cause I ain't never gonna leave your side.
As kids fall in love with sports, our universities are working every day to keep college sports safe, so you can watch them play with a little less worry and a little more joy.
As Division II student athletes, we are committed to being our best.
Division II National SEC is proud to partner with the Sports Science Institute to play a role in the cardiac safety and health of student athletes.
Although many student athletes with heart conditions live healthy, active lives, up to 10 NCAA student athletes die each year of sudden cardiac death during athletic activities.
The facts are that immediate delivery of CPR and AED saves lives, so everyone should be CPR and AED trained. Please join us in this important initiative. Make it yours.
Back here on Cougar Sports TV, we've entered the 8th inning of play here in this third and final game of the series between the Braves and Cougars. Cougars have already taken the series, but they're trying to pick up a sweep, although UNC Pembroke has other ideas. They're on top 7-4. The Cougars running out of outs to play with. 7-4 the score here with the Braves on top. Another new pitcher for CSU as Clayton Duncan has come into the game for the Cougars. Clayton Duncan actually making his first appearance this season for CSU, one of the hometown products for the Cougars. Nice swing and a miss there. Alex Simpson, the one at the plate here for UNC Pembroke. So it's Simpson, Ryan, and Granger. One and two the count. Duncan sends that pitch in, and that one hit well into left field. Hopefully it goes foul. It does not. That stayed fair, just over the wall. A solo home run by Simpson, his second home run in as many at-bats. Two home runs now in the game for Simpson. As he hit home runs 3 and 4 today. Oh man, Clayton Duncan, he'd gotten ahead in the count and he just needed one more strike. And then that ball was ripped into left field, as is that one by River Ryan. The pitcher also batter. Ryan picks up a hit, his second one of the game. It brings Connor Granger to the plate with Littleton on deck here for the Braves. See if Clayton Duncan can just settle in here for CSU. There's a strike to Granger. Granger and Littleton haven't been able to get too much going. Neither have recorded a hit in this game for UNCP. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Showed bunt foul towards the Brave dugout. Oh, into the count, so Duncan ahead again with 2 strikes up there, and there's third strike. Big swing and a miss there by Granger as Duncan gets the better of him for out number 1.
Now batting number 43, Garrett Littleton.
One down with a runner. That's River Ryan over on first base. Duncan delivers a called strike there. Clayton Duncan, the lefty, came to CSU from Columbus High. Made 4 appearances last year as a sophomore, 1 appearance in his freshman campaign. Has thrown 6 2/3 innings in total here as a member of Columbus State's baseball team. Picked up 8 strikeouts in his career here at CSU. Make it 9 after he struck out Granger there for the first out of the inning. 1 down, Ryan on first. Here's Littleton at the plate. 2-0 pitch, fouled back, 2-1. Well, we've also just gotten word, by the way, that the Lady Cougar softball team will actually not be playing their game today. The last thing that I mentioned was that Columbus State surely would get their game in even if it was later on in the evening, but turns out the Lady Cougars will not be playing today as their game has been canceled. Both of the last 2 games have been canceled. Only throw to make there is over to first base after Ryan had taken off for second. So if you're hoping to catch the Lady Cougars in action, they won't be playing either of their 2 games. That first game running so late, and then with a delay already happening by a couple of hours, they want to get those other teams back home at a reasonable hour, so neither team going to be sticking around. So they're just playing 1 more game over there on Cougar Field, not with the Lady Cougars in action. And again, Columbus State will not be playing any of their 2 scheduled games tonight. But they did pick up a couple of wins yesterday. So it was a great day to be a Lady Cougar. Really a great day to be a Cougar. What a day it was yesterday across CSU Athletics. Baseball team came away with a win. Softball picked up a couple of W's. Men's basketball team was down by 5 in the final, I believe, 20 seconds of the game before coming back to win, courtesy of a Landry's Horton bucket off the glass. The women's basketball team pulled out a win in overtime, and then the 2 tennis teams swept their way past Anderson 7-0, 7-0. So how about that day if you're a Cougar fan? 2 tennis wins, 2 basketball wins, 2 softball wins, and a baseball win. Cougar sweeping the board yesterday. Baseball team was hoping for the sweep in this one, but they trail 8-4. That pitch sent high into left center field, high enough for Curley to get over there, and that will be the 3rd and final out. So the bats will come up to the plate here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They trail 8-4 here on Cougar Sports TV.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
The American dream to me as an immigrant means having the opportunities that my parents didn't have. Being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed for me to get to this point. It was paying off.
Estoy muy orgulloso de Michael por haberse graduado de colegio.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not had a scholarship. It just relieved a lot of the financial burden.
These are your teams, your players, your community of fans. This is where they play, where they practice, where you cheer. At every meet, every event, every game. Your community is passionate, dedicated, supportive. You know the tension of a close game and the thrill of the win. So while you're cheering, keep an eye out for anything out of the ordinary. If you see something suspicious, say something to local authorities.
Being a champion takes more than skill, more than endless drills, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the heart to give it your all, the agility to thrive from any angle, and the relentless drive to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create, and the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
Bottom of the 8th inning here on Cougar Sports TV as Robert Brooks goes first pitch hunting and sends it over to third base for Simpson for out number 1. Well, the Cougars trail by 4, 8-4. This is the third and final game of the series. Cougars were looking for the sweep, but they've only got 5 outs left to play with, trailing by 4. Cougars will be back in action next weekend. Again, keep in mind that CSU does not have a midweek game, so no midweek game for the Cougar baseball team this week. Although some midweek action in basketball, so if you're around town, make sure you head on over to the Lumpkin Center as the Cougars will be back in action this Wednesday night for another doubleheader. As Horn will take his base there. Horn taking a shot there. Another hit batter for the Cougars. I was mentioning the basketball teams who will be in action this upcoming week on Wednesday night at the Lumpkin Center, taking on Clayton State. Couple of big matchups for the men's and women's basketball squads, especially the men's squad, as Clayton State, a team that they need to come away with the win against. Already beat them on the road back in January. So if you're in town, head on over to the Lumpkin Center, 5:30, 7:30 tip-off times for that doubleheader against Clayton State. Then CSU will be on the road for basketball next weekend. Meanwhile, the Cougar baseball team, this is where you want to be at, as the Cougar baseball team will have a home series Friday, Saturday, and Sunday against Flagler. Speaking of Flagler, Flagler right now on top of Georgia Southwestern. Flagler, one of the teams that has just one loss on the year. And they're in a series against Georgia Southwestern. In fact, that game has now gone final as they came away with a 9-5 win against Georgia Southwestern. So they take the series from Georgia Southwestern and they improve to 9-1 on the year. So it's going to be a showdown next weekend. A 9-1 Flagler squad against either a 7-2 or a 7-3 or an 8-2 Cougar squad. Right now it's looking like the earlier record of 7-3 with the Cougars trailing by 4 and only 5 outs left. But anything can happen, as we've seen from these comeback kids for CSU. Drew Webb, the one at the plate, we've already seen him hit a home run back in the 6th inning, a 2-run home run. Two and two the count. Ryan Cruz through the 7th inning, went 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout. But after a hitting Horn, he's put a runner on first base. although he might erase it with one pitch right there. Double play turn. Nope, not quite. Drew Webb safe just in time over there at first. So that keeps the inning alive here for Dane Bullock. Puts Webb on first base. Bullock 1 for 3 on the afternoon, has that home run, just missed another home run when he hit one all the way up against the wall. Oh, and 1 the count with 2 down, runner over on first base. Here's the pitch, high and inside there on Webb, 1-1. Pembroke trying to pick up their 7th win of the season and their first one inside the Peach Belt Conference. Here's the pitch from Ryan, fouled out of play, 1-2 the count. Wilbanks on deck. Maybe the Cougars can start a little bit of a 2-out rally here in the bottom of the 8th. Ryan sends that pitch in, fastball down the middle, just missed low there, 2-2. Bullock inside the batter's box. Ryan sends that 2-2 pitch in and will do it again. Pembroke has doubled up the Cougars across the stat line. 8 runs compared to 4 runs, 12 hits compared to 6 for CSU. Same with the errors as well, since CSU has 2 errors, with none up there for UNC Pembroke. Runner over on first base. 2-2, got him swinging right through that one as River Ryan records his 2nd strikeout of the game. Let's head to the 9th inning. Time running out here on the Cougars as they trail 8-4 on Cougar Sports TV.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay. Get in the way and disrupt the situation.
Notify an authority.
Or walk them home safely.
We can change the language around rape.
We can make campuses safer for our teammates, our friends, and our classmates.
We cannot be bystanders.
Taking action isn't always easy, but it's on us
to intervene.
Because we can. Learn more and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Opportunity to me means doing the things that will make you a better future. I always dreamed of graduating from college. So being the first one in my family to graduate, it meant everything my parents sacrificed was paying off. Having an athletic scholarship for the University of Mount Olive was key for my success. I had the opportunity to not only get an education, but be able to develop as an individual.
Being a champion takes more than talent, more than the perfect pass, more than using your head. Being a champion takes the spirit to always push harder, the ability to overcome any hurdle, and the fire to be the best. Welcome to Division II, where the pursuit is yours to create. And the question isn't, can you do it? It's, will you?
NCAA Teamworks is how the NCAA, member schools, student athletes, and corporate champions and partners actively engage in outreach efforts where national championships are played. Through initiatives such as NCAA Community 101 service learning projects, disaster relief efforts, youth clinics, backpack and school supply donations, and support of Special Olympics and the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the NCAA and its partners work together to leave a lasting legacy in the community. For more information on NCAA Teamworks, go to ncaa.com/teamworks.
Here we go to the top of the 9th inning on Cougar Sports TV. 8-4 the scoreline. Cougars trailing by 4. Another new pitcher in there for CSU. Their 6th pitcher of the game as 40 is coming to the game. Russell Forthoffer for CSU. Always love seeing 40 in the game for the Cougars. He's making his 3rd appearance this season. He's done well for CSU. He's gone 2 innings, hasn't given up a hit yet so far this season. A redshirt senior, another one of the local products. Cougars have been playing a lot of the Columbus talent here in this one. And look at Forthoffer. Gets a grounder over to second base that hops up on McDade, but still makes the play for out number 1.
Now batting number 9, Trevor Clemens.
It's not going to be easy for Forthoffer as he's facing Hammonds, Clemens, and Dixon. But he got Hammonds to ground out there. Clemens is 2 for 4 with a single and a double, and then Dixon on deck is 3 for 4 with a home run and 2 singles. That one fouled back to start this at bat. I already see some of our softball players in the stands here at the baseball stadium. Feel bad for softball as they are not going to be able to play either of their 2 games that were scheduled for today. So they won't get any games in today, which means their weekend is complete. But you're not going to complain when you go 2-0 in the weekend. At least they picked up 2 wins. Oh, and 2 the count. Here's the pitch, fouled back. At the plate, it's Clemens with 1 down and no one on the base paths. Russell Forthoffer, he made 7 appearances last year and 5 the previous year. He picks up a strikeout there as Clemens will have to go back to the dugout. How about Forthoffer, a ground out and a strikeout. Now he's got to face the big power cleanup hitter in Dixon. He's had himself not only a game today, but an entire series. Hit a home run yesterday in the 11-6 loss. Picked up another home run today. A couple more singles. Dixon now with 3 home runs on the year with 12 RBIs. This is his junior season for the Braves. His home run almost went to the porch out there in the Cunningham Center. 1-1 the count. Forthoffer delivers. That one high and inside. 2-1. Forthoffer's another guy that's been around this program for a long time. He sends a ball in there. Redshirted all the way back in 2016. Didn't make an appearance in 2017. 18 and 19 limited appearances. But it's good to see him out there in a Cougar uniform for CSU. He's got himself a full count here. Here's the payoff pitch. That one hit well into center field. Curley going all the way back. He's trying to drive on it towards the wall. Tried to leap and grab it. Couldn't quite fall into his glove. What an effort, though, from Connor Curley, because he then makes the throw over to the shortstop Boughton, and they almost made a relay throw in to get Dixon out at third base. My goodness, Connor Curley, Superman style out there in center field, laying all the way out and then immediately just popped up and sent a throw into the infield. Good effort from Connor Curley out there in center field, but unfortunately for the Cougars, it's a triple for Dixon. So he went home run yesterday, home run today, single, single, triple. His last 5 at-bats have been pretty productive. Now fourth offer's got to find a way to get this third and final out. Keep a 0 up there on the board with Mobley at the plate. Good news for him, Mobley has struggled this entire series, and right now he's 0 for 4 today. Forty's behind, 2-0. The pitch there misses, 3-0. The 3-0 pitch gets in there for a strike, 3-1. Here's the 3-1 with 2 down, and that one's going to be low in the dirt for ball 4. So keeps this inning alive, and it means that Simpson will be up there at the plate with Ryan on deck. Hopefully they won't have to see Ryan again. Unfortunately, that walk not only keeps the inning alive, but it brings Simpson to the plate, who has homered in his last 2 at-bats. And he's cranked a couple of bombs out there to left field. He's turned on a couple of them. So he homered off Duncan and Brockman. And now he gets to face Russell Forthoffer. Home run in the 6th, home run in the 8th, and here he is looking for a 3 home run game. Want to know the count? That one inside, 2-0. Well, you know, 40 doesn't want to give him anything that he can even be remotely enticed to swing at. Here's the 2-0 pitch. That one hit well into right field. Coming up on it, though, is Drew Webb, and he'll get there in time for the 3rd and final out. So Forthoffer gets a 0 up there on the board. Cougars trail by 4. We'll see what their bats have. Any late rally coming up.
My path to a college degree would have been completely different had I not run Division II cross country for the University of Mount Olive. Having an athletic and academic scholarship was key for my success. Our coaches were really helpful with balancing out my academics and athletics. I decided to attend graduate school because I wanted to become an athletic director. Receiving the postgraduate scholarship through the NCAA provided me with the flexibility to choose the school that I wanted. So now I know that I can accomplish any goal that I set for myself.
On and off the court, we're focused on creating lifelong opportunity, and that starts with education. More college athletes are earning degrees than ever before, but we've still got work to do. That's why we're raising the bar for incoming freshmen, so they're prepared when they get to campus. and why teams can't play in championships unless they make the grade. Education matters, and putting academics first creates a pathway to a lifetime of opportunity.
Last chance here for the Cougars as we have made it to the bottom of the 9th inning. 8-4 UNCP on top of CSU. River Ryan beginning his 3rd inning of work right now for the Braves, which means he's actually in line if he can finish the deed to pick up his 2nd save this season. If the score stands as is, Jacob Morrison will pick up the win for UNC Pembroke. It'll be his 2nd win, and Peyton Burton for the Cougars would pick up the loss, his 1st loss this season. That's all if the scoreline remains as is. Still 3 outs to play with here for the Cougars. Wilbanks the one at the plate. It's the bottom of the lineup. It's the 7, 8, and 9 hitters, Wilbanks, McDade, and Curley. Last chance hope here for CSU. 2-1 pitch, high, misses there, 3-1. I'd like to at least maybe make things interesting here. If you're the Cougars, let's get a leadoff walk. And a runner on the base paths here for CSU. The 3-1 pitch, Wilbanks swings, fouls that one back, 3-2. I had mentioned that the Cougars had done a really good job at not striking out a ton this entire series, coming up against a team that had been lighting it up. This is a team that averaged almost 12 Ks per 9 innings coming into this game through the first, 8 games of the season. But the Cougars had only struck out 11 total times in the first 2 games. There's a walk by Wilbanks. The leadoff guy on the base paths for CSU. Really, Columbus State hasn't been able to figure out River Ryan at all. He went 3 up, 3 down in his 1st inning, and he would have gone 3 up, 3 down in his 2nd inning, but he hit one batter in Bryson Horn. So the Cougars do draw a walk there with Wilbanks, and they're going to send a pinch runner in, as it looks like Drake Kirkwood is going to head over to first base. So Kirkwood has come in over at first base, and Wilbanks at the plate. McDade. That ball missed there. Ball 1 to start. Curley was the first one to see River Ryan, by the way, when he first came onto the mound from his 2nd base position back in the 7th inning. It was Curley, Meadows, and Boughton that went 1, 2, 3. So they'll get a chance to see him for a 2nd time, potentially this inning. McDade, the one at the plate right now. Kirkwood over on first. Here's the 1-1 from Ryan outside. Got McDade swinging 1-2. No outs up there for the Cougars as that one's fouled towards the Cougar dugout. Stays 1-2. It was Pembroke who came away with the series win against CSU last season, 2-1. They won the deciding 3rd game. The year before that, CSU took the series 2-0. If you recall, the Sunday game was canceled. But they did end up playing a 3rd game against each other. That was in the NCAA tournament when the Cougars disposed of the Braves en route to their World Series appearance. Two and two the count. No outs. Kirkwood over on first. Ryan sends that one in to McDade. It's high Full count. Cougar dugout starting to get a little bit of life to itself down there to the left of the third base line. They like to see another ball with Connor Curley on deck. Already have Kirkwood on first base. There's a payoff foul straight back. It's a good cut there by McDade, getting just underneath that one. By the way, Curley on deck, he's 0 for 2, struck out twice. Both times looking, he was hit by a pitch his first time up. He's in the on-deck circle right now. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Spoiled away again. McDade did have a single all the way back in the second inning. Ryan sends in the 3-2 pitch. Boy, that one went in on the hands. Fast hands there by McDade to even get a piece of that one. Turning on it. Far enough inside, it looked like it was going to be ball 4 if he had laid off. But we'll do the 3-2 again. Here's the offering from Ryan. That one inside on the hands again. This time McDade lays off. Ball 4, back-to-back walks by Ryan. No action in the bullpen either for UNC Pembroke. Not a stir happening in the bullpen. They are letting River Ryan ride this one out. Well, Coach O'Neill will take a long and slow walk on out there to Ryan, but again, no one even warming up right now, and they haven't sent anyone over to the bullpen as of this moment. So they know that they're sticking with Ryan. Connor Curley, the one at the plate, he's without a hit right now. By the way, Connor Curley has a 7-game hitting streak on the line. Now's the time, right? Now's a perfect time to keep that streak alive and pick up your first hit of the game. 7-game hitting streak for Connor Curley, who's hitting .419 this season. All right, here we go. Everyone's going back to their bases and their dugouts. Curley out there for CSU. He's going to dig into the batter's box, the left-handed sophomore from Cumming, Georgia. This will be the second time that these two have seen each other. Curley struck out looking his first time against Ryan. Eight to 4 the score line. Pembroke on top by 4. But things getting a little bit interesting here in the bottom of the 9th. Curley fouls that one. Couple of good rips here by Connor Curley, but it puts him behind 0-2. Ryan going through the signs, taking his time. Here comes the pitch. Curley again spoils that one away. Connor Curley right now just fighting to stay alive as he's behind 0-2 in the count. He's 3 for 6 coming into this game in this series with 3 runs and a couple stolen bases. Here comes the pitch, the 0-2 pitch. Again, fouled straight back. That's a good rip right there by Curley. Just getting underneath that one. So we'll line it up and do it again. Stays at an 0-2 count here. Runners on first and second base. Kirkwood and McDade. Here's the 0-2 outside. Doesn't quite catch the corner there. That's a great eye from Connor Curley. Eyeing that one all the way in and laying off of it for ball one. Here comes the 1-2. Oh boy, it looked like it was a very similar spot on the outside there on Curley, and that's the third straight time that he has struck out looking, and he can't believe it as he goes back to the dugout. That looked very similar to the previous call that was ruled a ball, almost the exact same location, and that time around the ump rung him up for a called third strike. Much to the chagrin of Curley and the home crowd here. So the top of the lineup comes around here with David Meadows at the plate. Meadows looks at a strike to start his at-bat. He had a single back in the first inning as the first Cougar batter, but hasn't picked up a hit since. Ground out, a fly out, and a line out in his next three at-bats. Oh, and 1 the count. Ryan looks back at Kirkwood on second. Sends the pitch in. 0-2. It's a big swing on the outside there by Meadows. Ryan goes through his signs. He's way ahead. He's got plenty of room to play with here ahead, 0-2. He goes right down the middle, though, and David Meadows sends that one into left center field. It's going to drop in for a base knock. They're going to load the bases, holding Kirkwood over there on third base. David Meadows gets the job done. We got the bases loaded here, folks. Tying run is walking up to the plate. Isaac Boughton at the plate. Boughton just picked up his first extra base hit of his Cougar career in yesterday's win, grabbing a double against the Braves. He's already got 3 RBIs against UNCP in this series. Today, though, it's been a different story. Boughton 0 for 4, so that means that he's due, right? Chance here to pick up a hit would be huge for CSU. Ryan on the mound, sends that first pitch in, and that one just foul to the left of the third base bag. Again, score is 8-4. UNC Pembroke on top, but one swing of the bat could completely change where this game is headed, and still no one warming up in the bullpen for the Braves. Here's the 0-1 pitch, called strike. Third straight time that a batter has been down 0-2 against Ryan. We saw Curley go down 0-2 before eventually striking out. Meadows was down 0-2 before Ryan sent a pitch right down the middle. And now Boughton behind 0-2. Bases loaded. Here's the 0-2. That one is going to get out of play in foul territory. Landed right on top of the concession stands to our right. Don't go anywhere, folks, even though it's a 4-run deficit. Right now, Boughton at the plate, and if the Cougars can get to it, it's Robert Brooks on deck. Just got to put this one in play here if you're Boughton. See if you can just line a single here for the Cougars. That one hit well into center field. It's going to be an out, but should be a sacrifice fly as Kirkwood is going to head on home for CSU. So they do tack on 1 run here to make it 8-5 on the sac fly. And with 2 outs, it brings Robert Brooks to the plate as the tying run for CSU. Well, Robert Brooks has just missed out on a couple of home runs this season. He has had a couple of balls just die at the wall this year. Been laughing with him down at some of these BPs, telling him that he's got that warning track power. He says, don't worry, it's going to come. He's going to hit a home run, and it's going to spark the rest of the season with the home runs continuing to come. Well, right now is a prime time for him to go yard for the Cougars to pick up his first home run of the season. He had 10 home runs last year as a sophomore and 11 home runs in 2018 as a freshman. 21 home runs in his first 2 years as a Cougar. Probably no one you'd rather have up there right now if you're CSU, one of the best power hitters for the Cougars on this squad, a guy that just uses those trunks, tree trunks, to drive the ball far and deep. Runners on first and second for the Cougars. They've gotten 1 run here in the bottom of the 9th to make it an 8-5 game. There's Wilbanks or Kirkwood who scored. Right now it's McDade over on second base, Meadows on first. Ryan taking his time. 1-1 the count here to Brooks. Ryan sends that pitch in. It's hit, but not hit far enough by Robert Brooks. Just going to be a routine fly ball out there in center field, and that's going to end this one as Bockham collects it into his glove, and UNC Pembroke comes away with the win in the 3rd and final game of the series as CSU can't quite come up with the series sweep against the Braves. So 8-5, the final score as Pembroke used its power and sent some of these long balls out of Ragsdale Field. 3 home runs at that to come away with the 8-5 win. It's been a fun weekend, though, here at Burger King Stadium. Even though the Cougars fall, they take the series 2-1. They'll drop to 7-3 overall, 2-1 inside of Peach Ball Conference play. Make sure you follow all the action on Facebook.com/CSU Cougars or their Twitter account at CSU Cougars BSB for all the updates and action. And make sure you're right back here at the ballpark next weekend as it will be a 3-game set against Flagler College. For everyone here inside Burger King Stadium, for our cameraman, our producer, our statistician, I'm Corey Aldis signing off. Your final here, UNC Pembroke comes away with an 8-5 win, but the Cougars take the series. We'll see y'all next weekend here on Cougar Sports TV.